What's up, folks? It's your girl Liza with a Z, and I'm at a new location today. If you can tell, we're at the John Wai Martial Arts studio here in Plantation, Florida, and I have some extreme guests today in the building. Today we have Daniel K, CEO of the XFN Fight Promotion. We also have Arthur Jean, new champ, and my brother, Maurice Boom Goes the Dynamite Morrison. Please welcome them to the show today. I just made that up, guys.
No, off the cuff.
Sometimes I just gotta go off it. I have stuff that I write down, but I just go off the.
No, that was perfect. You're natural at this.
So I'm so glad you guys are here on the show today. I've been wanting to get you guys on the show for quite some time. Right now, it's a trio. It's my first trio today on the show, so you guys are the first ones. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys.
So, Daniel, we've already been having a little conversation before here, so thank you again for coming on the show. Appreciate you and what you do for the community in mixed martial arts. So, tell us a little bit about how you got XFN started and how it's grown to what it is today.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. You've been doing a lot of great stuff in the media, and I'm really honored to be here sitting talking with you, so I appreciate the invite. XFN started just purely out of a passion. You know, I was like these guys. I had big dreams, and I wanted to be a fighter, and I wanted to be a champion. And in 2011, when I was trying to compete, you know, the level of shows wasn't what I was expecting, and I was really disappointed. So eventually, at one point, I just figured, you know, I can do a better job than these other promotions that were around at the time, and I can provide somewhere that I would want to fight. And that's where the whole concept of XFN came up. It was about putting on a show that I would want to fight on. And I always kind of wanted to eventually fight on one of my shows.
It's never too late.
You can have like a little exhibition style. You never know with somebody like promoter against promoter.
You never know. Anything's possible, you know, especially at XFN. So we'll see. I'll drop a leak with you if we do plan anything like that. Don't you worry.
Exclusive shit only. The podcast. But so now you just had a fight card with these two gentlemen and many other mixed martial artists. A great fight night. Tell us a little bit about that. And if you guys haven't noticed, he's wearing the official XFN merch right now. You can purchase that on the website as well.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how this fight card was going this time.
It was another great event. You know, we're happy to be back to putting on, shows with crowds after COVID. You know, everybody was shut down for quite some time, and we were actually lucky enough. We had some good supportive sponsors that wanted to help, you know, keep the shows going, keep the fighters active during COVID. So once Governor DeSantis gave us the green light to go ahead and continue putting on shows with a closed audience, meaning no audience, we held a few events in Miami in a closed studio, but it's great to have the crowds back. You know, there's nothing like that energy.
There's nothing. Even the UFC is different now with the crowds. And so imagine just like, you know, amateur pro cards that are here in the state of Florida, which, you know, state of Florida is basically the pioneer leading on everybody else. But it's really great to be able to go back and just like.
I think it makes moments too. Like I think it makes moments special because like after something happens, like the crowd, everyone's there, it just almost makes the moments even better with everyone there too. For sure, Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you do outside of XFN.
You know, I've still been training over the years, you know, trying to keep up with all these guys. But what I got into more recently is I recently got certified as a firefighter EMT for the state of Florida. It was actually, I completed the fire academy through COVID, and I graduated in December of 2020. So now I'm a volunteer firefighter for Palm Beach County. So when I'm not, you know, organizing these events, I'm out there just trying to do whatever I can to help the community, and I've really been enjoying that. So.
Well, thank you so much for doing your part in the community, being a positive influence, spreading awareness, and, you know, I'm sure we are very grateful for all the responders here in the state of Florida, you including.
Thank you.
So, right now, we have a couple other cards coming up. Arthur, your last fight was amazing.
Thank you.
You've been on like a winning streak as well. What is your vision within the next couple months for the end of the year?
I have a fight coming up July 31st, so I'm definitely getting prepared for that one.
Okay.
I've been fighting actually like every month.
Yeah, you've been. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
like even for this last one,
since
I was
May,
like,
I've been fighting every month.
back to back.
So I'm definitely looking forward to the July card, and hopefully get a win on there, and taking a break. Just getting recovery.
Yeah.
I've recently started like doing Epsom salt baths and ice baths and taking care of myself and my diet. Just becoming more professional. Even though we're amateurs, it doesn't feel like amateurs, especially with the XFN production. To be honest with you, it feels very professional, very organized. So I'm just wanting to step up and taking it more seriously because I do want to do this for a living.
Right.
So it's just taking on that fight and then taking a break, recovering, helping my diet, changing my diet up because I eat too much McDonald's right now. So
we're all guilty of it.
I actually started today. Today I was shopping earlier.
Yeah.
I just got some of the best things I could get.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
My go-to is the tenders, which they stopped making because of COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason why I should just not eat it anyways, because they don't have what I want. So
All right.
That was a sign.
yeah, that was a sign.
They
So
took it off the menu.
They took it off.
It's time to go.
Yeah, the cookies, all the sweets. I have a sweet tooth. So
For me, it's the McChicken, man.
McChicken?
Oh my
Yes,
god! I
yes.
can almost
That's
never
the
say
yes,
no to McChicken.
the McChicken with cheese and bacon.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my God.
I do it with the sweet and sour sauce.
Ooh.
McChicken with sweet and sour sauce.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. It's just been that's
never
been my
tried it.
combo since I was a kid.
Oh wow.
That's the way to
What
go.
about you, Mo? What's your cheat?
So I'll be honest with you, Subway's my thing. I
Subway.
love
Subway.
Subway. Yeah,
Okay.
sponsor me. No, I'm kidding. But no, I love Subway. I think I have it like almost twice a week or something like that. I will argue with anyone. I think Subway's better than Publix.
No, it's not.
I'll argue with anybody
No, it's
about
not.
it.
Come on,
It's not a
guys.
popular choice, but I will always argue about it.
Come on.
Only their tuna. Subway's tuna sub much better than Publix subs, but come on, bro.
I'm not gonna go to the tuna because I'm not gonna go anywhere with the tuna because
Okay.
didn't go too well in the news not too long ago.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
like,
It's
I
not
think they did a
actual
study
tuna.
that you will not find tuna in
In
the
an
tuna
actual
Subway.
sense, yeah.
Oh, why'd you tell me? That's the only sandwich I get at Subway.
Oh my god.
I just found out myself, and I like the tuna salads at Subway.
I don't eat the tuna sandwich, so that's good with me. I'm good.
Oh man.
Well, now we know. I guess
just ruined it for
questionable tuna Subway question mark. One of the fights that I remember the most for XFN was for Daniel Morrison. It was his debut amateur fight. And I had just started at John Wai, so like I didn't really know the guys like that too well.
Yeah.
But I knew he had a fight, and everybody's like, welcome to come support, as we do as a community. And I'm like, hey, I might as well go support the team and have a good time. It'll be my first fight. I brought my brother there too. And it was at the War Memorial. And you had a lot of great fighters on that card. You had 3rd Street, Ryan Coos. We had Miles Amos on there, Black Santa, and like who are all pros right now, and they're like
You also
amazing.
had Jornal Lugo on that card too.
Jornal, yeah.
The only reason I remember that is because I left and someone was like, "Hey, good fight, man." I'm like, "Oh, thank you," because I think they thought I was him. Because I didn't fight that card. I just cornered down. So like, "Hey, good fight, man. That was really close. I thought you won that one." I was like, "Thanks."
That's funny.
Doppelgangers. That's so funny. We should find doppelgangers in the industry here.
I don't look at him at all, but I think they just thought we're both light skins. So like, oh, we're probably the same
That's
guy.
so funny.
Wow.
That's funny, man.
But after that card, unfortunately, it didn't go in the right way for Daniel. But I think that it developed like a hunger to improve for him, because now he's doing main event title shots, and like he's developed throughout the years. I've seen every martial artist like now at their beginning stages with you, and now they're all pros and Titan and Bellator and UFC fighters, and it's great to see that growth. Even my life changed after that night. I remember I saw the fight, I saw the environment, and I'm like, man, I really like this. I like the environment, like fast-paced, crazy fans that are breaking out into fights in the middle, you know, whatever, school against this school, and like
Third Street
beefs.
Savage fans with their
Yeah,
ski
they're
masks
you know,
on,
like
looking like they're gonna rob you. You know?
any person that doesn't know about the fight industry would be like, oh my god, let me break my
real.
Bible really quick. But I was like, yeah, I want to be here. This is where
Well, it's
I
funny
want to
'cause
be.
everyone says that,
yo.
but once they go to one event, it's very hard not to go to another one. Like they want, like, what's the next one? What's the next one?
Exactly.
But yeah, I remember that card particularly. That was one of the cool nights because I think Dana was one of the first fights actually.
Yeah.
So because I fought at XFM before that, but you know I was always in the back. So I actually got to sit down and watch a card, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my god! I was like touching people. All this crazy. So that was actually one of my first events. I actually got to sit down and watch actually the whole thing pretty much.
Yeah,
So it was cool.
that was a great card. I eventually developed a passion for, you know, viewing all the fighters, getting their testimonies. I like just the journey, because after me doing my own fight camps, I realized the struggles that you guys go through mentally, emotionally, physically, dieting, you know, and just you against yourself, improving. And I'm like, wow, I can appreciate what you guys go through. You know, and I appreciate what you do for, you know, allowing these fighters to, you know, bring their talents to a platform and to hopefully see growth and become pros. And I'm definitely ready to see that happen too. I see you guys have so much potential. So I'm proud of the men that you guys are.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing, you know, a successful future for you guys. So Daniel, what can you tell us about any upcoming cards that are coming up?
All right. I can't tell you too much.
Yes, okay.
I can't tell you too much. But our next event that we have coming up is August 8th. It's going to be in West Palm Beach, back at Renegades.
Okay.
What I can tell you is that it's definitely going to be a hot ticket event to come out to. We have 3 women's title fights scheduled for that event.
Okay.
We're very excited about it. We're very excited to start announcing each individual matchup. I know I leaked one to you earlier.
I'm gonna keep.
We're gonna hold on to that one
I'm gonna keep
just
that
for a minute. And then we actually have 2 other men's title fights that night too. So we're looking at crowning 5 champions.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Nice.
August 8th.
One night.
And the women's fights
Be
are
there.
always like crazy. The women's fights always they're like the best fights in the card every
I
time.
say 2021 is a ladies' year. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, I
ladies'
say
year.
every year is a ladies' year because ever since women started getting involved in the sport, they've completely taken over. And you know what? I don't think it necessarily. I don't know. I don't know if you can say it's because they're. I don't know. All I can say is that they seem to come out and fight with all their heart every time.
Exactly.
I would say like definitely
I
for
can tell
the
why.
women fights for sure. Like I feel like what sometimes the guys will have like a little like a mental block with I don't want to like do this, but the girls just like
Just
I'm
cold,
doing it. Yeah, they're just going for it.
They don't think
And
about it.
It was
Yeah.
funny because I'll tell you that the example I had is like the last fight card. I don't remember who the 2 ladies who fought, but it was a crazy fight. Like, you know, they're all bloodied up and stuff like that. But
I think it's this girl right
yeah,
here on the shirt.
it's on the shirt. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're in the back, and mind you, like you know, everyone's watching the fights here and there, but that was the only fight that everyone.
Everybody stopped.
If you were fighting next, you were fighting 3 fights. We were all watching. We're like, oh, and mind you, we're fighters, so it's not like we haven't seen this stuff before.
Mary, right?
Marina.
Marina.
No,
Yeah.
so I'll be honest. So during the events, I'm always working. I'm running around. I'm get the show moving. So I don't really get to watch. You guys fight live.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Most of the time, my wife and I the next day will watch the rerun on Flow Combat and get to enjoy it that way. But this fight, damn, I actually did stop and sat down and I watched all 3 rounds. So this is Marina Riker for anybody who can't see from there. She fought Vicky Lukina. Vicky came from the west coast of Florida and she was making her debut against Marina. Marina had won her debut in a beautiful fashion with a knockout. Vicky, man, she did not care. She did not care. She came out swinging really hard from the start and dominated that fight. And that was an amazing fight from both girls.
Yeah, I think this month alone we got like 56 signups.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, to be honest, when I first came here, I started doing kickboxing, and it was like maybe 10, 15 people. And now it's so crazy. It's like we have to bring every bag out, and I see the difference.
Yeah,
already.
This place has changed.
Yeah.
I got here when there used to be heavy bags hanging.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the yellow
Right
walls
here.
and
This
stuff.
is
Look,
all
before we painted the walls and stuff like that, so it wasn't a
Yeah.
great painting job at
Oh,
all.
okay.
So no, it's funny. 'Cause I came here. I was here about like 2008. And I've been here for a while. Long story short, my dad has learned martial arts, but my dad and my mom divorced. And then I saw Sifu at Art in the Park, which is like this little performance. So me and my dad were performing. I'm like a little kid, and me and my dad doing our thing. And we walk off, and there's a school full of like 20 people with all weapons and stuff like that. And my dad's like, oh. Right, because we thought we were the only martial arts school performing there that day. So he's like, oh my God, what is this? So they come in, they perform, they start talking and stuff like that. So we kind of knew about them. And then, like, I think 5th grade, I told my mom, I was like, hey, Mom, can you, like, check this place out real quick? And, like, I don't got a computer because I'm in 5th grade. So I'm like, hey, Mom, can we check this place out? I have a brochure I found.
Right.
And we came here, and then I've been here, I've been here since 2008, so I've been here for a while. So luckily now I'm in, like, the managerial side to it, so I get to see a little bit more about it. But I love this place. I've been here forever.
Yeah.
There's just summer camps here.
Yeah. It's a great place to grow. All of
Definitely.
us have had our own different journeys here.
Yeah.
So like I've been on here. I've rolled around. I've gotten hit in the face many times here, but I've fired that shit. So you don't know yet. I haven't tussled around with you. They would put me in the Shark Tank with these guys to roll around.
Back then we didn't even have a fight team. It was just kind of like we just did classes with everybody. So I remember like I think when we first started. So it's funny how I got into MMA was interesting. So I was doing Sanchow, right, which is a full contact Chinese fighting, and one of the girls like we couldn't find a girl fighter for her. So they were like, all right, we'll try to find a card for her, right? And we fought from I think it was called Best of the Best, and she got a fighter, and they were like, hey, they're doing MMA, and Sifu was like, hey, you do jiu-jitsu and Sancho, so like, why not? So I fought MMA for that first card, and it's funny because we had a guy in here who was very close with the Prodigy. What's his name? Elvin Espinosa. Yeah. So I actually saw X-Men on my Instagram for a while, but I thought it was like some like semi-pro event. I didn't know it was amateur. Yeah. So I was talking to Steve Alejos, and he was kind of like, oh, you know what, they're like semi-pro, but I'll get you in. I was like, all right. He was like, I got you, yeah. Like, he was like, I plug, so I was like, you know what, like, I was really like, so I think I actually scheduled for another event, right? But like it was like at a high school gym. They threw a ring in there. It was like actual ropes and stuff like that. So like, look, this is a cage. It looks like a UFC event for amateurs, and I didn't even think it was amateur. So Steve actually, talked to you. And I remember talking to Sifu, and I eventually ended up fighting for XFN. And I was like, oh man, this place is awesome. Like, felt super cool. I remember the first fight. I came out to DMX for my first fight. I felt like a UFC fighter, and like I was like, man, this is only my second MMA fight.
Yeah.
So that's actually how I got into it. And after that, I was like, you know what, I like XFN a lot. I tried other events and stuff like that, and like, I remember once we were in like this like garage. We were in a garage with no AC, and like
we know
it was a cool event. But like the thing was like weigh-ins took forever. Yeah. We were in like a garage. We were two different corners. So I had to stay with him in the garage. We were sweating. There was no mat there. Then we went to the other place. It was like their little like hangout place. There's like 100 people in there. Just half of them don't even fight. They're just kind of like in the back. Right. And I was like, man, like I miss XFL because I was like, man, like it's so weird. I don't know when we're fighting. Yeah. The fight card was like had like a whole bunch of names, but like half the fighters weren't even on there, and it was super weird experience. So it was kind of like juggling that, and also the fact that you have to fight soon. And I remember Steve was like, hey, you was like, you miss him, don't you? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. He was like, yeah. He was like, not everyone's like that. You got to match. So I was like, you know what? That's why the next fight I was like, okay, I want to fight for X-Men, and luckily I got into the card that I got on.
It means a lot though to hear that, because that's my goal. That's all I care about, is that the fighters have a great experience, that they come out of the fight, win or lose, and just felt like they were respected, that they got the stage that they want, that they envision. Because I know that when I was trying to fight, I was picturing the UFC. So when I had my first fight, I was expecting to walk out, in sync with my walkout music, not NSYNC like the boy band from the 90s, and then I expected there to be a crowd. I expected there to be, photographers and logos, and just, it wasn't that. I'll tell you that. I warmed up in a handicapped bathroom stall in the back of a kitchen at a nightclub. So yeah, it wasn't at all what I was envisioning. So to hear that was your experience, man, that makes everything worth it for me. So thank you, man.
I was in high school too, so I remember when they saw the pictures and stuff, they go, oh my god, you're a professional fighter. Because they saw the pictures and stuff, especially the official pictures, so I posted them, and I was like, oh my god, you're like this like UFC fighter. I was like, kind of not. I was like, no,
big deal.
I know, but I was like, it made me feel like that. And like, also, I feel like, can you imagine like these guys who are fighting in venues like that, and all of a sudden they get to a bigger level? Let's say they go for like, I don't know, a Titan or like something a little bit bigger than that, and they're like, this is the first time they see a crowd, first time there's like an actual warm-up room and stuff like that. Like that might throw them off a little bit, but for us, we get, you know, we kind of have the pro feel as amateurs. So when we go pro, the only difference is it's like a couple of rules and some shin guards.
Yeah,
that's really it, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it, of seeing the growth and also the professionalism of the different promotions that you have here. Some things are like strict on schedule. Every part has its like, you know, everything, moving parts are going. And I've seen the behind the production parts of different fight promotions. So like, sometimes you have your guys in one side and maybe there's just a curtain between both sides, and like, are we sure that this is gonna make sure we're not gonna have like a brawl in between the backside? But you know, separate rooms and the way that you guys have to deal with just even dropouts. You guys get dropouts.
So
too.
that was the thing though. So one of the main reasons why I stopped trying to fight is because I had 5 fights lined up, and all but one of them did I show up, and the opponent, he didn't show up to the weigh-ins, but he's gonna weigh in the same day of the fight. And then the fight's about to start, the day of the fight, and I'm like, hey, did my guy show? Oh, no, man, I don't know. He stopped answering his phone. I don't know. He stopped responding to my messages. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. You haven't heard from him in 3 weeks, then why didn't you tell me sooner?
Right.
So one thing that we try to stay on top on, me and Michael Maldonado, who does the matchmaking for us, is we're very involved with the fighters. We follow them all, obviously, on social media. We keep in contact with them almost on a daily basis, if not at least once a week.
Right.
You know, either with the coaches or with the fighters, and make sure everything's okay. Because, look, you guys already know this sport has injuries. Stuff happens. You get injured in training. It's understandable. Yeah. But if you give us enough notice, if you get injured and you know you're not going to make it to the fight, there's always next month. And there's other cards all over the state of Florida. There's a handful of really good promotions in Florida, and then there's also plenty of just random opportunities out there too. But if you give the promoter enough notice, like, hey, I'm injured, I can't make it, I'm really sorry, I'll get on your next card though because I'm having to pull out now, at least it gives me an opportunity to try to find a replacement for your current opponent, because it's not fair to them.
It's not. I've seen it for my boys and other fighters that I know, like literally day before. Come on, as coaches, as a teammate, even, you know, hey, if you're like rolling together, you know he has an injury 4 weeks out.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, I think you should probably let them know, sit this one out. It doesn't take away that you're a fighter, you know. It actually shows that you have mindset, professionalism, and you're humble enough to say, hey, I can't fight. Let somebody else have the opportunity, you know, even if it's 3-4 weeks notice.
No, but I want to say, so as a promoter, and I think I'm speaking for all promoters out there, let us know in advance. It's okay. Like, we understand, first of all, whether you're pros or amateurs, injuries happen. We understand that. But we want to make sure that whoever's healthy and ready to fight gets that opportunity.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, when we're trying to do things on another level, when we're trying to really put a lot into production, you know, there's promo videos that get made, there's graphics, there's that, all that comes into play. And when you wait until the very last minute, you're not just screwing over the promotion, but you're screwing over your opponent, and it's not fair to them. So
they're putting it in their families and friends,
and people,
who bought tickets.
Right.
There's pay-per-view links. There's
like
travel.
You were saying earlier, like, one of the biggest parts about fighting is like the emotional roller coaster you go through. Like, one of the most stressful parts is the fight week, right? Because you're trying to cut weight. So you're trying to manage, you know, not only like, you know, how the fight's gonna go, because at the end of the day, you really don't know, right? You can prepare all you want, but at the end of the day, it's, you know, for the most part, I was telling someone this the other day, like, you know, for the most part, everyone has routines, right? I know for the most part how my day is gonna go. I know I'm gonna come to work, I'm gonna talk to some people, I'm gonna teach some classes, go home, that's it, right? Yeah. Whereas with the fights, I'm like, it could go great. I could go, party, you know, 10-second knockout, or I could be the other guy and get 10-second knocked out, you know? So it's like, that stress alone, plus the whole fight week, then you got people, hey, how are you feeling for the fight? Yeah. Are you ready? Yeah. All that stuff super annoying, stuff like that. And then now you got to worry about, oh my God, is my opponent even going to be there? Like, that's something, you know, so, you know, when you do stuff like that, it's like that emotional roller coaster we go through, and then to have it all ripped away from you is one of the worst feelings ever, For a while, we weren't fighting with anybody, right? We're fighting the goat shed for a little bit.
Yeah.
There's not one, but the most people there were just like corners and stuff.
That's it.
So it's funny going from that, and I didn't get to see the when we guys fought in the car place.
Yes.
I actually didn't go to that one because I had a COVID scare at that point.
Right.
So I watched it on TV. So when we actually came back, the first crowd I was at was with him and David.
Yeah.
So when I walked out there, and I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this is freaking awesome. You know,
Crazy.
everybody,
Right.
everyone's super close. I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is super. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys feel about the change now that you guys have crowds back in it? I feel like it brings so much more hype to
So,
the fight.
It's funny. I used to hate crowds. I actually, I don't seriously. I used to almost like blinders. So if you look at my old fights, I would not even look at anyone. I wouldn't like
Sure.
peek over. I would just walk straight.
Right.
And it's funny because like I was watching. I don't know what it was. Muhammad Ali. I was watching a lot of like old fighters stuff like that. For me personally, I was trying to like kind of like emulate some of these fighters so I could kind of work on my performances and stuff. And they all really, really loved the crowd. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should like embrace that
it.
part a little bit
Exactly,
more,
yeah.
right? And
Exactly.
you know, one of the things I was researching a lot was like how fun, how if you inject fun into like your performances, you actually have a better performance, right? Versus like that's why people spar better versus when they fight, right? 'Cause some
Exactly.
people take it too seriously,
Right.
So you know, I got out there and like that's why I came out to Jamrock, right? So I actually was going to come out to J. Cole. I was like, you know what? You don't get some more hype. I
Yeah.
can't welcome to Jamrock because it's freaking awesome. So I came out to that. So I was, you know, that's why I was like, okay, this is actually really cool because I'm like before the fight, I was like super serious. I was super like, oh my god, I gotta do this. Yeah, I gotta go fight. But once that song came out and I saw everyone, I was like, okay, this is actually like really cool because my whole thing is like. If I wasn't fighting, I'd be a rock star or something like that. Because you have all, you know, you're like, yeah, you know, you're like in the center. And there's like all these people. Like for the one, I would think my first concert was a weekend concert. One of the things I was looking, I was like, damn, all these people are here for this guy. Like we're sold
What a
out.
good
I'm
feeling, man,
I was like,
right?
I'm all the way in the
Yo,
back,
yeah.
and I paid like $100 for these tickets, and we're all here for him.
Right.
So I was like, man, like I want to have that feeling too, and I feel like how cool that was, and like that was my own like mini version of it. So it was kind of cool.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
glad. I mean, I love watching the walkouts. Not only you guys are focused, but you guys are interacting with the crowd.
Yeah,
Everybody's hype.
Yeah.
I think that's my
Everybody
favorite
can be
part.
Arthur, like, you know, dancing. and
Yeah.
shit, you know?
Okay.
That's
you know,
a
you
new
can help
feeling.
us in
Yeah.
on here if you'd like to, Sai.
I'm like, John Wai has so much support, and I'm just now getting used to having the crowd on my side. So like, I'm used to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm used to the noise, but it's usually like for my opponent.
Yeah.
So now I'm like the guy takes me down, I get up and I hear woo.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, they're on
It
my side.
energizes
It gives me
you, right?
energy.
Squad.
Oh,
And I'm like, let's go,
Okay,
baby,
yeah.
let's go. And I love it.
I mean, John Way's support is like with anything they do. It's
Right.
not only just like you guys that are the fighters of the gym, the tournaments like the Chinese that they had in Orlando. All parents, everybody goes out, and like that support too. Somebody's here, they've dropped 5 pounds.
Hey.
Everybody's like, you know, excited about
Yes,
it because
that's true.
everybody trains here together, and so that's the best part of like going to support you for the fights too.
Yeah.
We're in there too with you. I'm in there. I mean, I'm all the way in Tampa, and I'm keeping up with you guys. You know, like, you know, like drop them, kick them, whatever, choke them out. I text you. I was like, you better put this man to sleep tonight.
2 days before the fight, she sent me that. I didn't remember that.
Hey.
Well, it's funny because you know, I always grew up in like my dad started me in martial arts, right? So I grew up in this kind of like environment, but it wasn't until I came here, and I think the first tournament I went to was like 2008. I got all participation medals. I didn't even get a participation medal. I was so bad that I didn't even get that. Like,
Oh, okay.
they were, it's not like they weren't handing them out. I just
Never
didn't get
saw
them.
participation
They had
now,
like
man.
5th place, and I was like 6th. I didn't get anything.
Yeah, you got
But
the-
I
you
remember,
got the-
like-
good job.
Yeah, but I remember like having everyone there and like everyone supporting me and like everyone cheering me on. I was like, that was super weird because my dad's school was a very low key school. It was very small. We had like 10 students max. And whenever we went to go perform and stuff like that, you know, out of the 10, maybe like 3 or 4 would show up.
Wow.
So it was very different. So when I lost it, everyone's like, oh, ooh. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It just felt like super weird and different, but it was really cool too, you know?
Oh, that's great. All right, oh man, I hate
nervousness.
to see it. I really do.
Yeah.
I've seen it with you guys, and like I've bought tickets for your events, and they're like, my bad, you know, like the guy pulled out, or the one thing I don't is the not making weight, like you're 10, 15 pounds over.
That's another one.
Oh my
That's
God.
another one. The night before, if you're so far off in weight, call me, text me, Instagram me, something. You know, XFN Fights is our social media handle. If you're fighting for us, you should have it. You should be following for us. But just let us know, because then what that does is I can call your opponent and say, hey, where's your weight at? How far off are you?
Yeah.
Instead of your opponent waking up the next morning and killing themselves to cut the last 5 pounds, Maybe we set up a catch weight. Again, when we're talking about the amateurs, you guys are all learning your bodies. You guys are all developing. A lot of you are young too, so maybe it was easier for you to make weight while you were 18, 19, but now maybe you're 20, 21, you're starting to put on your man strength and you can't make the weight as easily. So if you're having issues with weight too, just let the promoter know the night before, the week of, I don't know, and maybe you can come up with a catch weight. Because I hate it when, I get the call the morning of, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm 12 pounds over and I'm dry. I can't miss anything else. And then I call the opponent and the coach is like, oh, well, he's in the sauna right now. He's been in the sauna for like an hour trying to cut this last weight. It's not fair,
Exactly.
Yeah. So make sure you give notice, people. Okay? Be professional.
That's
Thanks.
it.
Even your amateurs.
That's right.
Well, guys, it has been a great time talking to you guys. Give everybody your information where you guys can be followed, and anybody you guys want to thank along the way with this journey that you guys are going through with your mixed martial arts journey.
Well, I'll start. First of all, I want to thank you, by you doing this and giving not just myself, but, young fighters an opportunity to share their story and let everybody know their story and what's going on with their life. That's awesome and that's huge. So I really appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you.
We're XFN Fights. You can find us at XFN Fights on social media. Follow us, check us out, and come out to a show sometime. See these guys,
Yeah. Incredible. Arthur?
Yes, I want to thank you. I actually found out about you on Instagram before I even met you in person.
Right now. Thank you.
The first podcast I heard was with you and Daniel, because that's when I first started training with these guys, and I was like, let me go watch it, and I'm happy to be here. I want to give a big shout out to Haiti, my country where I'm from, all my people in Haiti. I don't know if you guys are gonna watch this, but
You can say, I'll
Hey,
give you a link.
hey,
to
you know,
your
my
family.
parents, my
YouTube
parents.
is universal.
That's right.
my parents, my family, my friends I grew up with are still in Haiti, so shout out to them.
Okay.
Shout out to John Wai Martial Arts. My game went from here to here in about 6 months, just from training here. Shout out to all these guys. Thank you guys, and I'm happy to be here. And you could follow me at ArthurJMMA on Instagram.
Alrighty, Mo.
Yes.
And then you can find me on Boom Goes the _Dynamite.
I love that nickname, man. It's so
It's
awesome.
one of
Very
my favorite ones to shout out.
hell yeah.
Very funny story how I got that, but we'll talk about it another time. But I just want to shout out also Lisa. I know Lisa for a while. Lisa's been kind of when we did the first fights with Daniel. She went from someone who just did classes with us to be the number one supporter on the team. She even went through the whole fight camp with us before as well, so she kind of knows what it feels like to be in the fights with us. So when she says stuff, she knows she's not asking you stuff like, "Do you feel like you're ready for the fight?" She's not asking
She
questions like that. She knows.
Where's your weight at? What's going on?
She's asking real questions and stuff. So I want to give you a shout out too. But also want to shout out everyone that come through school. I mean, a lot of these guys John, Osai, Eric, these guys uncles to me. I really grew up with them. Osai had, pretty much took care of me for 5 summers in a row. So, these guys are pretty much my family, and my actual family, like Daniel, are here. So, I just want to shout out to everybody who's here, everyone who's watching, and thank you.
Well, guys, you have tuned in to another episode of the Lisa with the Z podcast. Stay tuned for more, and check out xfnfights.com for any upcoming events. Have a good one, folks.